One of the frustrating things about working with CSS is that a lot of times it feels like wrapped presents under a Christmas tree. You can look at them, but you can't touch them, sometimes for years, until it's finally stable in browsers. Well, today I want to show you 4 modern features in CSS that you can start using today that simply progressively enhance the user experience. That means for browsers that don't support it, they just get the expected behavior and it doesn't degrade the behavior at all. And for newer browsers, they get extra special features without a whole lot of work on your part. So let's look at these 4 modern CSS features you can start using today that progressively enhance the user experience. Hey, what's up? My name is Chris and welcome to Coding in Public. All right, let's jump in with tip number 1, which is all about wrapping text. You know what it is to have a title like this, and it looks great until you get somewhere around here, and then it just has this really awkward wrapping. Well, we don't want that. Instead, what we want is it to wrap balanced. And you can do that with a new property. You don't have to use some kind of weird JavaScript. Just come in here, and I'm going to grab just the heading and say text wrap is equal to balance. That means automatically as I get smaller, you'll see that it wraps appropriately, trying to match the sizes, and that way you don't have just a single word wrapping over. I should mention you should probably only use this for headings or kind of smaller sections of text. It has to do quite a bit of calculation in the browser, so from what I've heard, it's not great on performance if you do this for like all the paragraphs on your page, for instance. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, let's go ahead and comment this out, and then I'll uncomment out the next section. This next tip is scrollbar-gutter. Now, occasionally you'll have a site like this where as you kind of get smaller, you'll need a scroll bar to jump in. Now, notice as soon as I did that, everything shifted over because there wasn't actually like space reserved for this scroll bar. To make it a little bit easier, I've gone ahead and enabled some default styling for everything so you can see the kind of section right over here. You can see this white section that ends up popping in as I need it. So it's not there and then suddenly it's there. Well, this new feature that I'm going to actually set on everything, so it's on the HTML document itself, is called scrollbar-gutter. You can set it to stable, and what this will do is reserve space for it even if you don't currently need it. So right over here, you can see it's already got this white space reserved, and then as I need it, it just pops in the actual scroll bar, but I don't have to actually shift the content over one way or the other. Now, I've obviously shown it with this background color different just to show you that, but you would probably have something like this on your HTML, so that way when that scroll bar pops in, you're not obviously seeing like a background color shift right here. It's just popping in as needed. Now, there are other features here, like you can have stable both directions if you want, reserve it for both directions. So that would be left and right. It's got it both directions. There are other features here as well, but the important thing here is just that you're reserving space ahead of time. That can be really helpful when you have like a loading screen with a bunch of things popping in one after the other. You don't have to see that scroll bar pop in and out and all the content shift as well. Just the scroll bar pops in as needed, but the content doesn't have to shift over. Okay, so that's the second tip. Let's go ahead and uncomment this. Okay, this next little section is for inputs like checkboxes and radios and ranges. You can see that here by default, you've got this blue color on Chrome. I think Firefox is about the same thing with Safari as well. Well, you can actually provide colors to these if you want to, and that way you get a little bit of customization beyond the default in the browser. So I'm going to grab the input right here. We'll just set the accent color here to something like red, and you can see how all of these now take on this red color. Now, you can notice they're a little bit different in their red colors, even here versus here, so that might annoy you, and like me, you might want to just create your own little custom checkboxes instead, using the input as kind of the selector, but having other CSS control what it actually looks like. Either way, you do have a little bit more control now, and this is in all the modern browsers, I think even without flags, but you can go ahead and progressively enhance where you want to, and where people are expecting the normal behavior, they'll get the default checkboxes. Okay, and that brings us to our 4th CSS tip. Let me go ahead and comment this out, and we'll uncomment this right here. So here I've got an image, and you'll notice that the way I've got this set up here, I'm going to want this image to kind of take the full width that I can. So if I jump over this way, you'll see that here I've got it set to 100% view height, and I've got the cover set here. Now on desktop, this works just fine. It always takes up 100% of the view height. Let me go ahead and show you now on mobile. As I start to scroll, the bars at the top and the bottom, as they adjust, you'll notice this doesn't quite fit 100% of the view height. This is where dynamic view height enters. What you can do is actually add it directly after a height declaration like this with view height. It's just DVH, and now what you'll see is it always takes up the maximum space allotted after that top and bottom bar are there. So as I scroll and they remove, it now expands to fill the available space. Now, because I've set DVH after VH, if a browser does not support this, it will just fall back to right here. So it's no problem at all to add this, but you get the extra safety of knowing exactly how this will show on users' devices. Hey, I hope those were helpful tips. If you're interested more in CSS, let me know down below what you'd like to explore, and I'd be happy to do some videos on it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy coding.